No, dark thoughts. So I just want to say, and not that so we'll talk about why I want to say it, but I do want to actually do want to talk about why I want to say it. But I just want to say, I'm such a this is how dumb I am, and I just want to I want to say it because I think that for some like I guess we're talking about it now. I do believe like this is how scatterbrained I am, right? And I because I was watching the playback for the video, right? And I realized that I called a digital clock an analog clock, right? And it's interesting because you know I mean theoretically you guys probably would know, maybe you could sort of think about, well, the way he was looking, he's looking down, not up. You'd think of an analog clock as being up on a wall. So, maybe you could sort of logically figure it out. Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't. I mean, it obviously doesn't matter, right? I could have just made it up. The point is that this is where I think the real issue lies, right? So and with all, I mean, obviously it's my bad, right? I did recognize it as I was listening to it, right? So in other words, like I recognize, like, wait a minute, it's not an analog clock. Why did I say that, right? And so, is this, we talk about categorization, right? We talk about like all kinds of stuff. I don't know. I don't know how to interpret that. And I'm being honest here, right? I'm being completely honest. And I would love to understand. Dark thoughts is that I don't know that I will sort of, understand that on some level, because I honestly attribute it to the nervousness, the sort of scatterbrain, the sort of I'm trying to go too fast, I'm thinking too fast, I'm sort of trying to come up with stuff to say. I'm worried about, how I look, which means I probably should try to look better, obviously. But in other words, like I always say, like, well, there's obvious fixes for this stuff. But the point is that dark thoughts is that, two things, right? It's like you gotta nip this stuff in the bud, right? Because this is how people perceive you. And the problem is that like there's like a void, because I don't actually believe, like, I've never thought that I was actually like stupid. I mean, I think, understanding the difference between an analog and digital clock, on some level, it's like you understand there's two different kinds of clocks, and then like what makes more sense. Well, digital, digits versus, non-digits. And so, yeah, I mean, whatever, right? The point is that this is something that afflicts me, right? And I guess, this is sort of the I don't know, people would call this, I believe people would look at this and say he speaks too fast, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And so therefore he's, like just dumb, right? Or just, whatever, right? And it's tough because, obviously obviously no one wants to feel, so fundamentally flawed, especially in a state of helplessness, right? And this is not a, this is not a cry, this is dark thoughts. Like this is kind of how it goes. It's like, what can you do about it? Well, like I said, I'm made the mistake. We'll have to go slower in the future. Maybe this is why you script your damn videos, right? It's part of my language. But maybe that's sort of what I have to do. I didn't want to script the videos, obviously. And it's funny because a lot of people would dramatize this, right? I'm putting this on YouTube. This is raw, baby. This is raw. Like this is me just kind of, whether I'm a, in other words, like, does this make me too outgoing by being expressive, right? I think there's an idea that, well, wait a minute, let's curb the expression, right? Curb your enthusiasm, right? And so, that's fair. That's a fair, there's sort of this idea of, making noise, whatever, drawing attention to yourself. To me, there's a, like I said, I do want to, explore a lot of this stuff with some of my thoughts as I flesh them out via the 511 thoughts, via sort of, just as I go through my life. But yeah, just saying I'm not, I make mistakes, and not that I'm not, and then it's sort of like, well, the other issue is like, oh, trying to get brownie points by admitting you're saying, no, I'm just trying to say, like, I'm trying to highlight an issue. I honestly believe this is a problem for me, and I believe that you might say that this is a problem for me because the why is part of what I do believe is open for interpretation. However, regardless of why, it's got to be stopped, and I think that if I can stop it, does that change? What does that change? I don't know, but that's the question. Anyway, five longer. It's not 511 thoughts. A longer dark thoughts because yeah.